Then, or if I'm at least curious, I might follow his advice to utilize the 3 jewels in my practice. So there's the Buddha jewel. There's the Buddha jewel, which is the teacher. This is like the Buddha himself, someone who woke up. And it just means if I want to learn how to play piano, I get a piano teacher. Right. If I want to learn how to have a mind that doesn't have fear or doesn't have anger, for example, I have to find someone else who's gotten there in their own mind. And Buddha just means someone, it just means someone who woke up. It just means someone who woke up. Another translation of the Buddha jewel, which I find to be even more inspiring, is something called, and I'll try to explain this, more
in about 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. So it's something called the emptiness of the Buddha's mind.
Right.
And what it really means, it doesn't mean that the Buddha doesn't have anything in his mind. What it means is that the Buddha's mind lacks an inherent nature. It lacks any inherent quality, meaning that the Buddha's mind wasn't necessarily compassionate and wise from the moment it began. It was a quality that he developed over time. And just like the Buddha, I can do that. The emptiness of the Buddha's mind, the lack of an inherent quality, means that, and the emptiness of my mind, the lack of inherent quality, means that my mind can get to the same place as the Buddha's mind. That maybe I'm depressed now, but it's not an inherent quality of my mind. Maybe I'm anxious now. It's not, and it doesn't matter if it's happened for 20 years. In Buddhism, we say, listen, it might occur for a long time. Doesn't mean it's part of you. Your mind is just like the Buddha's mind. You can get there too. Okay, so that's the Buddha jewel. And to me, that's very inspiring, because if you tell me that my mind has the same mind as the Buddha or the same part of the mind as Mother Teresa or something, it gives me a little bit of inspiration and hope that I can get there too. Then there's the Dharma jewel. This is so simple. It's just the teachings. It's saying you want to get from human mind to superhuman mind, you need some teachings to get there. And then these are the teachings. Generally, the teachings on emptiness, lack of an inherent nature, which we just talked about, and teachings on compassion. And so we have that at 3 jewels. We have the teachers, we have the teachings, and then the 3rd jewel is Sangha. There's a really classical interpretation of that. It means like a certain collection of beings who've had a very particular realization in deep in meditation. On the 9th level of 9 levels of meditation, they've gotten there. But the colloquial term, I think it functions a little bit better for our listeners. And that is a community. It's very difficult to make a change alone. But if you have a community of people around you who are supporting you in making that change, then it's much easier. And so you have your spiritual community. You have your teacher who you try to emulate, who you ask advice from. They're a bit further down the road than you. You have the teachings that are going to help you get there. And then you have your community. They're all there with you in the trenches. They're trying to get rid of their anxiety. They're trying to get rid of their depression. And at 3 Jewels, we have people who are studying Dharma together. We have people who've taken Buddhist vows, Buddhist Vinaya. We have people who are trying to meditate. And we're all sort of together, in it together, and supporting each other and saying, hey, listen, yesterday was really hard for me. And they're like, don't worry. Remember the Buddha jewel, the emptiness of your mind. You can get there too.
Yeah,
so those
that's
are the 3 jewels.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. What is the significance of chanting?
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And I really wanted to talk about this because it's something that's personally inspiring to me in my own practice right now. We don't do a lot of public chanting at 3 Jewels. Not, we'll do a little bit at the beginning and end of yoga, and then we do some, at the beginning and end of a Dharma class, we do a certain prayer. A lot of other traditions will do it more, like Kundalini. You go to Bhakti Yoga, they're going to be chanting a lot, and it's so, and Kirtan. Chanting is like, it's like another way of asking me, well, what's the significance of mantra? Like, what's a mantra? And then, so then we have to go back to the fabric of the mind. It's like my mind is like this tapestry, and it's constantly weaving itself. I'm thinking these thoughts. I'm doing these things in the world, and I'm saying things, and my mind is recording that. In the tapestry of my mind, all of that is recorded. So my words, what I'm literally saying right now is affecting my future mind, which affects how I experience my future world. Mantra is something that an enlightened being has said. And we want the karma, we want the tapestry, the inner tapestry of that enlightened being in our own body, because they've destroyed pain. So when they speak, if I speak their words again, I'm starting to move my mind in the same way that a saint would move their mind, in the same way that an enlightened being, someone who's had that realization, who's destroyed their anger, who's destroyed their fear, I get to say the same words as them. That means part of my fabric is like their fabric. And then there's some rules about mantra, you know. It's really beautiful. I think it's really beautiful that people say mantra. I don't think it's bad. But generally, you know, it has to have been something that's spoken by a Buddha. You have to have an enlightened being. You have to have someone who's like, and it's not specific to Buddhism, okay? There's people that have woken up in all religions, in all practices, all over space and time. And so the first rule that I learned when I learned about mantra is that it has to have been spoken by someone who's had a realization. And then they have to give it to you. There's some power in them giving it to you. And then you sort of repeating it as a practice. And generally the mantra has something to do with love or with wisdom. And it's just kind of this, like if you take concentrate to make juice, it's like put the water aside, just take the concentrate. Like I want the most powerful stuff that I can say. You know, so then I would say, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. And then there's all these associations to it that you learn from studying scripture for years and years and years and years and years. And so it's like putting an essay of truth in your own mind, but you're only saying 4 words.
Quick question. Do you find yourself while you're, say, even standing in a lineup or waiting for somebody, do you find yourself saying your mantras ever?
You know, it makes me think of Ram Dass.
Yeah.
I mean, a different lineage, but, you know, Ram Dass, I always have to give him credit because he was my entry point. You know, I read Be Here Now, and that's what got me into this mess. And he and his guru, they talk about you just have to have Ram, 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 Ram going on in your heart the whole time. It's very beautiful. Yeah. And so I try to have that. If my mind is united with the mind of an enlightened being over and over and over, as much as I can, I mean, so much better than thinking about Instagram or thinking about, you know, a bunch of crazy things. I don't know what I would be thinking. Coffee. I'm looking at my coffee right now. If I can just be, you know, love, 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 love every being, get free, destroy the pain of every single being. And if that's the contents of my mind, you know, anxiety is not going to shake me. I mean,
exactly.
It becomes, the picture gets much bigger. And then you get much stronger because, like I said at the beginning, my heart is united with all of these beings who've had these realizations, who've gotten out of suffering. And then my heart is also united with all the beings who are in suffering. I'm thinking about them. Right. And that gives me the power to move forward. If I'm just doing it for myself, I'm not going to get very far. But if I'm doing it for everybody else, it's like a mother lifting a car off of their infant.
Yeah.
There's a reason, you know.
And Rachel, our time is up.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I have to tell you, I am just so grateful for everything that you have contributed to this podcast this morning. And of course, I know we'd love to have you back again. To talk more. I mean, that would be we've had you on twice, and hey, look, we could talk and talk and talk, and go on and learn from you. And I just want to say, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us on the Yin Yoga Lifestyle.
It is my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, so welcome. And if you would like more information about Rachel Webb, you can visit 3jewels.org, and you can have a class with her, I believe online, or follow her on Instagram at internet.dakini. And many thanks again, Rachel, for being with us today on Yin Yoga Lifestyle.
Thank you.
And please don't forget to check us out and visit yinyogalifestyle.com and subscribe to our yinyogalifestyle.com newsletter. You can find free yin yoga videos on our site, and you can join live online yin yoga classes, receiving your first class for free. You can even visit our Yin Yoga Lifestyle store and support the environment with every purchase. Giving the gift of wellness to somebody special, consider a Yin Yoga Lifestyle gift certificate. Please visit our website, yinyogalifestyle.com, for more information. And thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.